All right, so I've got the engine set for top dead center. It is set at the 530 position. The timing pin mark actually is right where it's supposed to be. You'll notice that little, I'm trying to get it so where you can see it better. But anyway, there's a little hole marked right there, and you can kind of see it in the camera, but not super duper clear. But that's what that timing pin goes in, and that lets you know when your engine is on top dead center as well. And how I did it was I turned it over with something called a barring tool, and it looks something like this. That's what the barring tool looks like. It's got a spot where you can put a socket in it or an extension in it, and it goes into this little hole right here on the back. Y'all see that little hole right there? That's the hole it goes into, and of course it connects to the flywheel, and then it allows you to turn it with a ratchet. And I have to say, it's way easier turning it that way than it is just putting it on the pulley, because it gives you a gear reduction, making it a whole lot easier to turn over. And now I did notice that when I got the engine in time, that the timing on this injection pump is actually not in time. So I'm going to have to pull the pin out of it, unlock it, and set it for top dead center as well, so that it will line up on that timing pin right there. And this also has a pin in it. I think I mentioned in the later, but I believe it's that one right there is the one that you take out, and you're supposed to be able to kind of help you line it up and put it in top dead center. But this certain pumps like this right here were actually more prone to have a problem. There was a type of pin actually in there that would sometimes mess up, and there's a number you look for to let you know if it's and this was one of the ones that was put out during that time when there was a problem with it actually. And a thing to look for, if it's been replaced or if it's been fixed or something like that right there, is the numbers. It's, I think, 160 something through 194, anything after, like you can see the numbers right here. So this would have been the one that probably needed fixed anyway. But another thing you would look for is something called an infinity symbol, and it looked like an 8 basically. It looked like an 8, and it would be kind of like engraved into that plate right there. But I know this pump's already been off of this engine at least once, or it's been replaced at least once, because that doesn't look factory to me. Doesn't look factory at all. So I'm going to go with, this pump's already been pulled off at least once and probably worked on and probably tweaked. And that might be part of the reason I ended up with a leak right here, because it was leaking out of the boats coming into there basically. So that would probably actually be one of the reasons why it was doing that. And it was actually causing me some trouble if the truck sat for longer than about 3 days. I would have to help her get started because it was losing its prime, because it'd all drain out and it'd take forever to get it lined back up. So but those are a few things to kind of look for if you are in the process of changing one of these pumps out on your 12 valves. That's one of the things you can look for. And for some of the ones that didn't know, this motor is not in a Dodge truck, by the way. It's actually in an old Ford. I actually was getting pretty good fuel mileage out of this old engine in this truck when I did the swap. I had the 460 gas motor, and I think I was getting about 8 miles to a gallon. And it really didn't matter if I had something on it or not. It was just still getting horrible. And when I put this motor in it, I went to get in about 28 miles to a gallon is what I was averaging, about 28 miles to a gallon. I was actually getting better fuel mileage than this than I was in my little sport track here, even before I did the V8 swap in it. So I'm trying to get it back up and going, and that's kind of why it's been down the last time, because the ejector pump was just starting to give me trouble. And basically I decided it was time, since it was taking forever to get started, and it was because it was draining out all the time. I just decided it was time to fix it. So